I know when I take that photograph exactly how I'm going to represent it. Hi, my name is Linda Lovisa, and I'm in my studio today, and I would love to tell you a little bit more about myself. I often get asked, how do I decide how I'm going to paint one of my references? And let me tell you a little bit about my references. All of my references are photos or sketches that I have done myself. So when I'm out there photographing, being a landscape artist, I go to all kinds of different landscapes. And especially in the Okanagan Valley, we have quite a varied landscape here. When I'm taking my photographs, I'm looking at all kinds of different things. And, you know, I don't know if it's instinctive or how I decide, but, you know, I know when I take that photograph exactly how I'm going to represent it. Whether I'm going to use a more impressionistic stroke, or whether I'm going to stylize it more contemporary, or whether I'm going to go into pulling towards a little bit more realistic. So it's really about the mood I want to capture that I feel when I'm taking the photographs or when I see something special. And sometimes you just can't stop to take a photograph. Example, the other day I was going along, driving to Penticton, for example, and the sun coming through the clouds was just so spectacular, but there was nowhere to pull over. Trying to capture that is sort of ingrained in my memory, and then when I go to paint it, I'll do a quick sketch and I'll try and capture that feeling. It's about feeling, and whether I decide I'm going to use a softer stroke or a more stylized stroke just depends on what the subject is and how I was feeling when I came across it. You know, some people paint from their imagination, or, you know, from dreams they've had, or something they've seen and they're trying to capture it. My artistic process, and I guess you could say it's a documentation of my life journey as a bit of a woods kind of nature explorer, because most of my paintings, well, in fact, all of my paintings are from actual locations. On the back of my paintings, I usually write where it was, you know, where the photo was taken. I take a lot of photographs. And then something about that moment. I scribe on the back in pencil. Often, you know, when you take it into the framer, it does get covered up a bit, but it is there. And the year, of course. But just an example of the process. Here we go. This is this book here that I illustrated and wrote. It's called Mushroom Memories. And you can get this online, by the way. Anyway, so I just happened to have a little bit of an example of the process on the back. So I was in Ottawa, and I saw these mushrooms growing from a tree, a maple tree actually, and it was quite high up, which is an unusual place for mushrooms. But I guess there was just enough organic material there for it to grow inside a knot of a tree, which was so unusual. Usually you think of fungus, but in this case. So then the process, I did a sketch. And then what did I do next? Then I did my interpretation of the scene that day. Now, when I'm doing an interpretation of something like this, I really wanted the mushrooms to look like the type of mushroom that it was, because if someone who's very familiar with the different types of mushrooms, they could identify it from that. But when it comes to the background and so on, then that's when I try to, let's say, capture the mood. And in this case, it was a fall day, and although in the original photograph, it's just a bunch of branches back there, a bit distracting, I minimized the background and brought that warm fall glow. So that's what I love to do, is I love to sort of bring the one thing that got my attention and bring that to my audience, and as you know, what I look for as a painter. So that's just a small example, but it gives you a little bit of an idea on how I got to that initial completed painting. It's, you know, step by step. There's an adventure to get to that end result. Thank you, Process Art Discovery audience, for joining us today. And if you would like to receive more of the programming, click onto the subscription button and the notification button, and when new programs come out, you will be the first to receive them. Thank you.